if y'all didn't do this, come here. We can get that done the shows. I do want to start tonight with one complaint, though. Bob Dylan, this is the 50th anniversary. I've been putting out albums and songs. And he's done like 40 albums, hundreds, if not thousands of songs, one really cool Woody Guthrie poem. And I know everybody needs a job. But at some point, you're just gilding the lily a little bit. So to help Bob out, I've kind of rolled all his songs into one, and I'm calling it Abbreviated Bob. It's going to start with the Woody Guthrie poem and end with the Woody Guthrie poem. When your head gets twisted and your mind goes numb, when you think you're too old, too young, too smart, or too dumb, when you're lagging behind and losing your pace in a slow motion crawl of life's busy race, and your train engine fire needs a new spark to catch it, well, Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement talking about the government. Man in the trench coat, badge out, laid off. He says he has a bad cough. Wants to get it paid off. Look out, kid. Something you did. Don't know when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway looking for a new friend. Man in the coonskin cap by the pig pen wants $11 bills. You only got 10. It was early one morning and the sun was shining and I was lying in bed, wondering if she'd changed it all if her hair was still red. Folks said our lives together sure was going to be rough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress. Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. So we drove that car as far as we could, banded it out west, split up on a sad dark night, agreeing it was best. She turned around to look at me and said, "We'll meet again someday on the avenue." And I was tangled up in blue. So blue. I mean, just tangled up in blue. It was almost as if darkness at the break of noon and shadows, even the silver spoon, the handmade blade, the child's balloon, eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand you know too soon, there is no sense in even trying. So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound to your ear. It's all right, Mom. I'm only sighing. While preachers preach at evil fates and teachers teach that knowledge waits and goodness hides behind its gates, but even the President of the United States sometimes must have to stand naked. And that's when God said to Abraham, "Kill me a son." And Abraham said, "You must be putting me on." And God says, "No." And Abe says, "What?" And God says, "You can do what you want, but next time you see me coming, you better run." And Abe says, "Where do you want this killing done?" And God says, "Out on Highway 61. "Well, there must be some way out of here," said the joker to the thief. "There's too much confusion. I can get no relief. No reason to get excited," the thief he kindly spoke. "There are many here among us who think life is but a joke." And outside in the distance, a wildcat did growl. Two riders were approaching and the wind began to howl. And I just stood there by the side of the road with rain falling out of my shoes. And she was working in a topless bar when I stopped in for a beer. And I muttered something under my breath. And you know what I muttered under my breath after not seeing this beautiful lady for years? I said, "Lay, lady, lay. Please lay on my big brass bed." And her answer, my friends, her answer was blowing in the wind. So sorry, her answer was blowing in the wind, so I had to plead my case. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? And how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many years can a mountain exist before it washes to the sea? Won't you please lay, lady, lay upon my big brass bed? And she told me she aches just like a woman, but she breaks just like a little girl. So I took another look because everybody knows that baby's got new clothes. But lately I see that her ribbons and her pearls have fallen from her ribbons and her bows. And once upon a time she dressed so fine she threw the bumps a dime in her prime, didn't she? She used to ride upon a chrome horse with her diplomat who carried on his shoulder a Siamese cat. And ain't it hard when you discover that he wasn't really where it's at after he took from her everything he could steal? How does it feel to be on your own, with no direction home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? And that's why I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. I wake up in the morning, I fold my hands and pray for rain. I got a head full of ideas that are driving me insane. It's a shame the way she makes me scrub the floor, and I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. So Mama, you can take this badge off of me. Oh, I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see, and I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door, and heaven's door opened, and there was Mr. Tambourine Man. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me, and I'm not sleepy, and there's no other place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me, and the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. Take me on a trip on your magic swirling ship. My senses have been stripped. My hands can't feel the grip. My toes too numb to step. Wait only for my boot heels to be wandering through the streets of Rome, which are filled with rubble, and there's ancient footprints everywhere, and you can almost think you're seeing double. But I gotta hurry back to my hotel room. That got me a date with Botticelli's niece, and she promised she'd be right there with me when I paint my masterpiece. Oh, the hours I've spent inside the Colosseum, dodging lions and wasting time, all those mighty kings of the jungle, I could hardly stand to see them. It sure has been a long, hard climb, but I got to get back to her somehow, and all the people we used to know are an illusion to me now. And some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started. I don't know what they're doing with their lives. But me, I'm still on the road, hoping for another joint, when she lit a burner on the stove and handed me a pipe, because everybody must get stoned. Oh, they'll stone you when you're trying to be so good. They'll stone you just like they said they would. They'll stone you when you're trying to go home, so I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. I thought you'd never say hello, she said. You look like the silent type. Then she opened up a book of poems and handed it to me. It was written by a Welsh poet from the 20th century, some guy named Thomas Zimmerman. And every one of them words rang true and glowed like burning coal, pouring off of every page like it was written in my soul from me to you. And it went like this. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad, sad height, curse me, bless me now, with your fierce tears I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And where do you look for this hope that you're seeking? Where do you look for this lamp that's a-burning? Where do you look for this oil well gushing? Where do you look for this candle that's glowing? Where do you look for this hope that you know is there, out there somewhere, and your feet can only walk down two kinds of roads, and your eyes can only look through two kinds of windows, and your hands can only reach out and turn two kinds of doorknobs, and you can either go to the church of your choice, or you can go to Brooklyn State Hospital. And if you go to the church of your choice, you can find God. But if you go to Brooklyn State Hospital, you can find Woody Guthrie. And though it's only my opinion, and I might be right, or I might be wrong, but you can find both of them at the Grand Canyon at sundown. Coming tonight, we just got a rocking, wonderful show tonight. Let me introduce Joe Neary and the Mystery Tramps.